Our last presenter of the new Beverage Showdown 18 finals is Catherine Doherty, the founder and CEO of Spritz Beverages. Catherine, come on up to the stage. Hello again. Good to see you. Any mic you choose, your clicker, and mind your timer, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Catherine Doherty, and I'm the founder of Spritz Beverages. It is a tremendous honor to be here today, sharing our journey, just 1 week after our very first run and our 100th case sold. So I want to begin with our vision, because this is what guides us every day. At Spritz, we define our vision in 2 ways. First, what are the aspirations for our beverage? For us, it is to become the go-to drink for health-conscious women throughout their day. Second, who do we want to be as a company? We want to be known as an organization that inspires, celebrates, and empowers women, and we have subsequently built a product, a brand, and a social impact program to execute on those goals. So let me walk you through how we will achieve this vision. We began by clearly defining our target consumer. Pulling from my prior experience at Johnson & Johnson in strategic marketing, we segmented our market multiple ways. As a result, our core consumer is defined as health-conscious women who are consuming ready-to-drink sparkling waters and teas in the U.S. This represents a $3 billion opportunity. We then ensured our product met the needs of our target consumers. We've created a portfolio of 5 softly sparkling tea infusions. In order to become the go-to beverage throughout her day, our portfolio has varying levels of caffeine. 50 milligrams for a morning kickoff, 30 or 15 milligrams for a late morning or early afternoon pick-me-up, and caffeine-free options for winding down in the evening. We selected an amount of carbonation that we're describing as softly sparkling for a refreshing but still drinkable experience. And our flavor profiles are more than an essence, each with a unique and complex taste that has elements of fruit, sweet, and tea. We meet her nutritional fact preferences too, with no calories, no sugar, all natural, vegan, and keto. Next, we built our brand to surround our liquid. We chose our name, Spritz, because of its play on the concept of a tea spritzer. Our logo visually describes our liquid with leaves and bubbles, but also our mission, with one bold bubble breaking out and paving the way for others to follow. We designed our packaging to be sleek, sophisticated, and minimalist in its aesthetics, an acknowledgement of beverage's increasing role as a form of self-expression. For our voice, we spoke to our consumers with encouragement and inspiration, and we cement our brand identity with our social impact program that gives 1% of our net revenue to women's empowerment organizations. In our final stage of development, I utilized my experience in market research to design 2 different studies to validate our idea. We first did a quantitative concept test of almost 200 women in our target market. And while we gathered many data points, our key metric, likelihood to try, scored an 83% top 2-box score. This was then followed up with a quantitative usability test of 97 women, with approximately 9 out of 10 willing to try the product based on packaging alone, and 8 out of 10 women indicating adoption based on the taste of the product. We completed our validation with financial modeling to determine market-appropriate SRPs that could still provide an estimated 40% year-1 gross margin. With this data in hand, we prepared for commercialization. We are launching in our Columbus, Ohio, our very own beachhead market, and we'll focus on expanding from that center. First to other cities in Ohio, and then out to own the Midwest. In each market we move to, we want to drive awareness of our brand with social media, press, and events, then build density and initiate trial with alternate channel retailers that align to our brand and demos, boutique fitness studios, spas, and restaurants. And finally, we plan to scale our consumer adoption through grocery, mass retail, and food service. Of course, none of this happens without a great team. In addition to my years of multidisciplinary roles at J&J in sales, marketing, and finance, my colleague Jason brings over 20 years of operations and supply chain experience, including early-stage beverage companies. Dan has over 30 years in beverage sales and is helping to build out our broker and distribution network. And Mackenzie is our millennial marketing manager who understands our brand to its core and communicates it beautifully to our consumers. Together, we're excited to be working every day to build towards our vision, and we encourage you to join us as investors, distributors, and advisors. Thank you.
Well done. Catherine articulated a vision for Spritz to be the go-to beverage for health-conscious women. The rest of the presentation talked about how to get there. Kalam, what do you think of that vision and the process of becoming that go-to beverage?
Yeah, I think we've talked about today that there is this need, this growing kind of love of sparkling things and a need for more flavor and refreshment throughout the day. So I think you've kind of hit on a big opportunity there. For me, one thing that I didn't experience as much is the tea aspect of it, right? So I love the idea of these flavors, dragon fruit, guava, mango. Those are things that are approachable but yet different. Not seeing in the sparkling water category. I might have liked to have a little more of a tea payoff. But you definitely have a good, category opportunity, and consumers are certainly looking for this as far as even in their spirits. This is a very much like a White Claw non-alcoholic kind of option to me.
We've described it that way before.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Ken, some of the judges yesterday had some questions about the brand name Spritz. What are your thoughts on the name?
Well, there's a circle R next to it, so it's a registered trademark. I can't believe it, but
Yes, there it is.
that's I don't know. You have a great attorney. I'd like to get that number. I think overall comment is the liquid is good. I think there are some categories, maybe I'm just the old guy in the room, but I think there are some categories that should be carbonated, and there are some that should enjoy a carbonation vacation. And I'm definitely a tea drinker that doesn't like carbonation, so it's not focused at someone like me, but there's a lot of other people out there, so wouldn't put myself in the place of the target consumer, obviously.
Thank you.
Julie, are there a lot of other people out there who are looking for a sparkling tea?
Absolutely, and still growing. I think we've got a lot of people moving away from soda and into beverages just like this. So you're offering a nice solution into a flavored sparkling beverage that tastes good. I agree that I expected more of a tea flavor. Not that I don't like the flavor, I do, but maybe if it was tea infused, I would then feel better about not having that heavier tea taste.
Thank you for the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, Spritz clearly focused on female consumers. What do you think of the positioning of sort of focusing on one particular set of consumers, like women?
I love that. It's particularly out of the gate, if not forever. I think it's generally a mistake when brands and companies assume they can hit all audiences at all times. You got to start somewhere before you can be anywhere, be everywhere, I should say. And I think one of the challenges, though, even more specific on that, we talked earlier about usage occasion. I think you're going to have a real challenge with this caffeine variation. I think our experience has been consumers tend to look to a brand to do a job. Right? What's that job? And you're challenging yourself to do 3 different occasions is really, really tough. And so I would challenge you to choose, own it, stand for it, and then just be that one. If you can own that one piece of one consumer segment's life, you can build a massive company and brand around that.
Got it. So just focus even further.
Even more.
Got it. Thank you.
John, you get the last word. Branding, liquid. What are your thoughts on Spritz?
I think it needs a little more to be sort of a sticky brand. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a degenerate or something, but I hear Spritz and I'm like, where's the Aperol, So I think, it's hard to take a word that is kind of used just as more of a descriptor and make it your brand too. So I think, I'd like to see the packaging evolve so has a little more almost like personality. And I'd say that about the flavor too. I feel like tasting this, I'm like, I swear I've had this before, And I think that, too, is sort of hard to own, So I think the tea payoff would be one way to approach it. And otherwise, I sort of agree with Mark on, the caffeine levels. Like, I probably wouldn't have noticed that if you didn't mention it. I think it's sort of owning, again, that niche and that use occasion. And I just focus there and save that, other time of the day for future expansion. But I think there's definitely some good stuff here with refinement. So
Thank you all for having me.
All right, well done. Thank you so much.
Hey, it's Ray Latif with Taste Radio. If you like what you just saw, hit subscribe and ding the bell. You'll be happy you did.